Hello everyone, this is Gage from Gondorian Smith, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys another Third Age Reforged online multiplayer battle replay. And this one is a 3 versus 3 pitch battle, I believe done on the grassy plains, not Pelennor Field, just grassy plains. This one was sent to me by MechSoph, so thank you to her before we start. And that's pretty much all I have to say before we actually begin the army column, so we can go ahead and begin with hers. She has got 3 units of the Arthedain pikemen, because she is obviously going to be playing as Arthedain. She's got 4 units of the Evendim spears with them to provide some armor and shield support from arrows. She's only got 1 unit of Evendim archers, surprisingly. She's also got 1 unit of the Dunedain rangers. She's got 1 unit of the AP wardens of the north. These guys are one of the only 3 remaining AP archer units in the game, and they are extraordinarily good, I've found, at dealing with enemy knights, like the Knights of Anuminos and like the Warlords of Umbar. And that is because they have the insanely good damage and the AP arrows, of course. So if knights come into range of these guys, they will suffer quite heavy losses. Also, even if the enemy player keeps his knights far away from your wardens of the north, it is keeping that unit out of the fight, which is extremely good. Also, they are very good in melee. They do have a couple hit points, but they are very expensive. She also has 2 units of the Dunedain Troll Slayers. Not a unit you see all that often, really, with Arthedain. They are javelins, of course, and they are extremely deadly in melee with their two-handed axes that are AP, of course. However, they are very lightly armored and can get shot down very easily, which is why they do have this hide anywhere trait. So they are a little bit not as susceptible to arrows, but of course, once they come out of hiding, they can get shot to pieces very quickly. She also has over here 1 unit of the Grey Company, who are also actually body piercing. So these guys are basically just mounted rangers, and they are extremely deadly for it, because not only do they actually have an okay-ish charge for horse archers, but because of their BP arrows and obviously their horses, they're way faster than normal rangers, and so you can really move them around and still cause a bunch of damage. Also, you can see they're only about 39 men shy of the standard ranger unit anyway, so they still have quite a few numbers in the actual unit. She also has 2 units of the standard Dunedain scouts, who are horse archers, not too bad for harrying the enemy, or for shooting the enemy from afar. And then she also has 1 unit of the Knights of Anuminos for her general, of course. Don't really need much of an introduction. They're very heavily armored indeed, with AP lances. Over here she has her 1 unit of Banderbrass archers, her Hobbitrain arms, and her final Dunedain Troll Slayer. All, of course, these guys are hidden, so they should be able to provide a nice ambushing support. Far over here, though, we have got her ally, who's going to be Mordor, who has a very interesting army, to say the least. As well as kind of formation, because he's got his general up here. He's got the Nazgul. Mordor's going to be commanded by Elrain. He's got the Nazgul there, of course. He's got 1 unit of Mountain Trolls, 1 unit of Troll Drummers, 1 unit of Olaghai. All very good trolls, of course, especially the Olaghai. He's got 2 units of the Orc Fodder. I believe 2 units of the Orc Maulers, just some cheap AP. He's actually got 4 units of Mornon Guard, as well as 2 units of Minas Morgul Chosen. So a ton of spears from Mordor, which is really not that common, and generally I don't think would work too well, but we'll have to see how it works out for him. He also has 1 unit of the Sauron's Will, as well as 1 unit of the Black Legion of Barad-dûr. So no foot archers that I can see, although he could have some rangers hidden around here. We can now go to Soph's final ally, who is over here going to be playing as the Dwarves of Khazad Dum. And these guys will be seeing some changes in the upcoming patch, but they are still very strong from the current one. He's got a couple units of the 1st Legion pikes, very elite pikemen, but also very expensive. He's got, I believe, 4 units of the 4th Legion Shield Guard, just some pretty heavy spears. He's got 1 catapult, which leads me to believe that he almost wants to play defensively, but because he's got all of his forces in loose, he may actually be wanting to rush. His general bodyguard is going to be the Mithril Guard, 2 HP, very good bodyguard unit. He also has 2 units of the 2nd Legion Axe Guard, who are, of course, AP. He also has 3 units, I think, of the 3rd Legion Shield Guard, as well as 2 units of the Khazad Dum Reclaimers, who are axe throwers, and also whip out 2-handed AP axes in melee. And I believe that pretty much does it for this guy's army, so we can now, or for this team's army rather, so we can now go way over here. It lets me. There we go. To the first of the 2nd team's armies, which is going to be commanded by Engsvitz, who is playing as Lindon. He's got 2 units of the Harlandon Guard Spear Archer hybrids. He's got 1 unit of the cheap Forlandon Archers up front. He's got a mix of Harlandon Infantry and Mithlond Pikes for his front line. He's also got, I believe, 3 more units of Harlandon Infantry back here. He's got 2 units of Mithlond Marines, as well as 2 units of Forlandon Marines. Over here, he's also got 1 unit of Forlandon Pikes. He's got 1 unit of the Chariots. He's also got 1 unit of the Noldoran Horse Lords for his general bodyguard. So not a lot of cavalry and a ton of javelins. Over here, we've got the next army, which is going to be commanded by Peak Keep. He's going to be playing as Umbar. He's got a couple units of Corsair archers in the front, as well as one unit of, no, 2 units of Belgier archers down there, and a couple units of Abrazenim Nardu Baweave up front. So with all of these archers, Soph is definitely going to struggle because she only has one standard foot archer to try to skirmish Umbar down. However, Umbar also has 2 units of the Castamir's Legion on the flank, as well as 3 units of Corsair Pikes. He's also got some Naru and Aru Royal Guard, which is where his general bodyguard is. He's also got 1 unit of the Warlords of Umbar, and his army is relatively small, so I'm assuming he's got some hidden blackguards or other hidden units like that around here as well. So now we can see the final army, which is actually a very, very interesting Erebor army, so dwarves versus dwarves. He's got a couple units of the Ironfoot Axe Throwers. Of course, I forgot to mention that this army is being commanded by Any Hash X, and he's got 2 units of Ironfoot Axe Throwers up front. He's got 3 units of the, or is that 4? No, 3 units of the Erebor Legionaries. Very, very good standard sword and shield infantry, and they're extremely good also because they have locked morale just like the Castamir's Chosen and other units. He's also got 1 unit of the Dragon Slayers of Ered Mithrin, who actually are AP despite the fact that they are a one-handed axe unit. He also has the AP Sons of Durin, who are of course AP Shock Infantry. All of these have hit points, by the way, 2 hit points. Now he's also got 1 unit of the Highborns of Erebor and two units of the Obsidian Garden, and quite frankly, I shudder to think what the second one would have costed because they do cap out at 1. So he's got a ton of elites. He's also got 1 unit of the Mercenary Cav. But yeah, honestly, Khazad Dum, I definitely think will win this fight over here. However, Erebor is very close to Umbar, his ally. So I don't know if Khazad Dum really would want to rush. However, without any further ado, we can go ahead and start this one off. Do not want it at 1 times speed though. We'll bring it all the way back down to standard, or 1.9, sorry, I do want it at 1.0 speed. But over here, I think it looks like those trolls are rushing forward, yes indeed. The Mordor player is marching forward here. Oh no. Please don't rush forward with just your trolls. Trolls are very good, but even Olaghai will die very quickly if they're unsupported. And yes, in fact, they are going to charge headlong into the Lindon forces, and are going to actually take a charge from the chariots from Engsfits. And this is going to be an interesting play here. I don't know how the chariots are going to do against trolls. You can see a lot of the chariots are actually going down. And there are still all 13 Olaghai. Oh, but here come the Noldor Horse Lords. They are AP Lancers. They will probably kill a few on the charge. Yes, you can see there goes 1. But if they stay in melee with the Olaghai, they will start to die off pretty quickly. They were able to kill, 4 of those Olaghai, though. Ooh, that is not good for Mordor. I think he's being a little bit too aggressive here with his trolls. You can see the Mountain Trolls are also taking some losses now. Wow, those Troll Drummers, I can hear him from so far away. And here comes the rest of his forces, but yeah, not looking too good because he's still leaving a lot of reserves back there. And yeah, unfortunately, his Olaghai are just taking a beating from those Noldor Horse Lords, who have only lost about... Ooh, they actually are losing more men in the process now, but they have taken out about half of the Olaghai, so that's a very good job there from Engsfits. Meanwhile, the Mountain Trolls rushing forward without any support are going to come under some fire from Castamir's Rangers, Crossbow Corsairs. So Umbar definitely went skirmish heavy, that's for sure. And here we've got the Mountain Trolls coming into melee. And honestly, against the Elves, the Mountain Trolls, well, against the Elves of the Lindon, the Mountain Trolls will actually do very well. There's actually a lot of friendly fire from those crossbows currently. And that is because Lindon does not actually have much AP in melee. So the Trolls will actually do, honestly, very well in melee. Which is why he's trying to get his Trolls in here as quickly as possible. But I'm really not sure how well his standard infantry is going to go, because he's got a lot of really low tier stuff, as well as a lot of spears. There's the Nazgul running around, but unfortunately for them, they're getting hammered by arrows right now from the Castamir's Rangers. So this is probably not the best play from Elrain with his Nazgul, especially as they're about to now get a charge from the Warlords of Umbar. Oh, pull him back. Let the fodder take the charge. Nope. Okay, those Nazgul are going to take the full force of that charge. And that will see maybe 1 or 2 of them go down. Maybe not, actually. But that definitely did a number to their hit points. So probably not the best move by Mordor, especially because he's currently looks like he's trying to pick a fight with both Umbar and Lindon right now. He's... Oh, what? Honestly, this probably isn't the best move. You can see he's pulling a lot of his reserves over to Arthedain, which honestly is not the wisest thing to do in my opinion, because that means he's basically just dooming his units that are already in melee over here. He's basically just sacrificing them. So these guys are going to pretty much get cut down without any kills. So probably not the best move. You can see a lot of those Orc Maulers routing now. Warlords of Umbar still charging after the Nazgul. He's even sacrificing his Nazgul, which is actually his general's bodyguard unit. So not super great. Meanwhile, ooh, that catapult of the Khazad Dum. Oh, it's actually caused a lot of havoc among the lines of Erebor. Axe throwers down to 53. Dragon Slayers at 59. 59 for that Obsidian, 68 for the other. 56 for those Suns. So this catapult actually taking a... Ooh. Yeah, that catapult doing really nicely for Khazad Dum here, taking out a lot of these Erebor elites. But now the infantry fight is beginning. Some 3rd Legion versus some Erebor legionaries. And there goes the Mordor general. Ugh, not really looking super great. I would say it really isn't looking super great for Soph-Soph's team. However, currently, because Erebor is also rushing his entire army forward by himself, it looks like things might actually kind of even out, honestly. But yeah, there's some Mithril Guard being committed. Same with the Khazad Dum Reclaimers, so they must be out of ammo. There's the Mercenary Cav charging into the 3rd Legion, only killing 1 because they're melee cav. Also taking a lot of arrows from the Grey Company and Doomsday Scouts, it looks like. Ooh, taking out some more of those Dragon Slayers. I think I'll slow it down a little bit, just so we can actually see fully what's going on here. Meanwhile, over here we've got some 2nd Legion Axe Guard, butchering some Axe Guard of Erebor that I actually did not see. There's also some spears over here to support, and there's some Highborns and some Obsidian Guard coming over as well. But yes, Knights of Annuminos from Soph-Soph over here. These guys are going to be extremely, extremely useful in the back lines because Erebor has nothing to stop them, which means if Soph-Soph plays this correctly, her Knights of Annuminos could just hammer constantly back into the Obsidian Guard and the rest of the elites that Erebor has left over. So she is losing a few men here, and she needs to be careful about her general. Looks like those axe throwers are actually not going to rout, and the melee cap is over there. And there goes the Erebor general. So that is definitely not great for the lower tier units, but because most of his army that is still alive is unbreakable, it should be not horrible, I guess. But overall, looks like Erebor is really struggling. Although here in the center, you can see the 3rd Legion just cannot really stand up to the might of those Erebor legionaries. So it's going to be close. There's some more Erebor legionaries backing up some Dragon Slayers and more Obsidian Guard on the flank. And over in the center, it looks like Soph-Soph is starting to take a lot of arrow fire. And there is some Numenor and Shadow Guard from Mordor, which is nice. Mordor reforming his line there as Engsfitz goes to face him. But yeah, it's very unfortunate that the Nazgul just died like that. They didn't even get like any kills, I don't think. But yeah, only 27 Knights of Annuminos, so Soph-Soph should probably get these guys moving. That is in fact what she's doing now, very good. Ooh, they might actually take a volley from the Ironfoot Axe Throwers here. They're going to take a few axes, but they will be able to get a charge off nevertheless. She needs to try to deal with these guys quickly so then she can turn her attention back over here and try to help out her allies, who are actually still doing relatively okay. I mean, the standard 3rd Legion infantry is starting to struggle, but here comes some of the 1st Legion pikes to help out. And with the advance of the pikemen, as well as these axe throwers on the flank, it's going to force Umbar to either rush forward and start to help his ally, well, Umbar and Lindon, or they're just going to have to let their ally die. And actually, there goes Khazad Dum's general. So already both Dwarven generals going down. But this shouldn't be a huge issue, honestly. Ooh, that Obsidian Guard taking some nasty volleys to the side. Here's Numenor and Shadow Guard not in loose formation, trying to skirmish down the Belgier archers or some other archer. That's not the wisest move, especially because they're not in loose formation. But generally, as a whole, Rangers you should not really ever use to deal with standard foot archers. These guys are more meant to kill infantry and blobs. They're really not meant to stand up for very long in an actual skirmish engagement. Meanwhile, though, the Obsidian Guard at 25, Dragon Stars at 29. I believe a lot of the Legionaries have fallen, but there still are a few left over. And here comes the Knights of Annuminos charging right into the flanks. Looks like the Dragon Star is going to try to get a counter charge here, so it will prevent a few of their losses, but they are still taking losses. And the Knights of Annuminos actually coming under some pretty heavy skirmish fire from Umbar right now, so they are taking a lot of losses. Here comes another charge. Unfortunately, they're not... Oh, they were still able to get their lances out. Good, very nice. Charging right into the back of the Sons of Durin and the Erebor Legionaries there. And yes, you can see Erebor is starting to falter here, although, except for on this flank. They are starting to fall apart a bit. 35 Obsidian Guard, and there's 36 of the Highborns of Erebor. But for the most part, it looks like Erebor will end up losing here. But it's still going to be close because of how much Mordor lost in the beginning. You can see actually Mordor is once again going to be rushing forward here. His Black Legion of Barad-dûr taking a lot of losses to missile fire. Corsair archers. It looks like he is in fact going to be rushing forward here. Harlandon infantry fighting against something back there, but I don't know what. Lord and Horse Lords down to 11. And ooh, look at the Black Legion go down. It's probably every single archer over here, as well as a lot of the Lindon archers, are just focusing down this one unit. So despite their very, very big shields and pretty good armor values, they are taking a ton of losses. Only 11 Warlords of Umbar going to get a good charge off into the flanks of these Black Legion. So yeah, Mordor is really not looking too good. More on guard trying to silence those crossbow corsairs, or at least get them out of there. 128 Black Legion actually thinking about routing here. Gonna try to chase down the Umbar archers and at least make them retreat for the time being. You know, the Evendom archers are trying to do their best, but probably not going to be super great. And the Knights of Numenor going to go over to Mordor's flank now that Erebor has been dealt with. Yeah, Erebor is pretty much dead by now. He's got a few units over on this flank, but that's basically it. 21 of the Obsidian Guard as well as 25 Highborns. So now it's basically a 3v2. However, both Erebor and Mordor have sustained a lot of losses, while both Umbar and Lindon are still relatively healthy. And there's the Numenor Shadow Guard once again going to not be in loose formation and try to skirmish down the Umbar foot archers, which is not a great idea. You never really want to use these guys as, or you never really want to use rangers as standard line infantry, or standard line archers, because if you do, they will not do a very great job because they've got low armor and way lower ammo than standard archers, so you don't really want to use them in this way. Meanwhile, it looks like the Black Legion did end up routing, took a ton of losses. There goes some more of the cheap Mordor spears. Harlandon Guard, Crossbow Corsairs 98. There's still some Casimir's Rangers. You can see a few of the Arthedain pikes as well as a lot of the Mordor forces are going down now. Sauron's Will going to be standing here, and they do not have shields or super great armor, so they will take a lot of losses to any skirmish fire that is put upon them. Got some spears down here, and ooh, here come the Noldorn Horse Lords going to get a charge off into the Sauron's Will before the Lindon army advances. Or Lindon infantry, rather. And ooh, yeah, getting a very, very nice charge off into the shock infantry of Mordor, killing a ton of them. But it looks like Engsfitz here is going to be playing a little bit aggressive, and I do like this. You can see his chariots on the other end trying to run their way through the spears. Although, ooh, it is maybe going to result in a loss. No, they were able to push right through those spears and get into the back lines of archers, and that is not a good thing for Soph and Elrain, which is why Soph is going to try to get her Knights of Numenor in there and silence the Mithlond nobles right away. You can see the Noldorn Horse Lords taking a lot of skirmish fire now. Hopefully the Wardens of the North will be used to target those knights, and it looks like that is in fact what's going to be happening as she is rushing them to the back lines there, because the Horse Lords are currently trying to sneak around the flank. And now that Erebor rather has been defeated, Khazad Dum is going to be able to make his way over here and start to help out as well. And you can see it looks like an all-out push here from both Umbar and Lindon, as a lot of the Corsair pikes are pushing forward, and as the Lindon infantry is in fact engaging against the Mordor infantry. Sauron's Will are going to definitely struggle against the Mithlond pikemen because they don't have the reach. Although they're actually not doing horrible, all things considered. Wow, they're actually not doing bad at all. I'm actually very surprised by that. Black Legion once again routing. There's only one chariot left over. Here comes some Harlandon infantry to help out against the Sauron's Will. Over here, though, these spears won't be able to get many kills against these elves. They're just going to be trying to hold pretty much for as long as possible. And Soph still has a ton of horse archers as well, including her body-piercing ones. There's her Troll Slayers, but they're holding their axes out, so I wonder if that means they're out of ammo. Interesting. Meanwhile, you can see Soph's front line is coming under a lot of skirmish fire currently. Only 50 of those Mordor Rangers left over. But yeah, Umbar just moving forward, it looks like, not quite going to get into the fight yet. And there's the Catapult of Khazad Dum, still actually proving to be very worth it in this fight, taking a lot of the Erebor elites and now moving on to other units. And yes, here's the Corsair Blackguard. So some Umbar units going to be throwing their javelins directly into the front line of Soph's pikemen. However, they are coming under a lot of skirmish fire from horse archers as well as maybe the Banderbreast archers. But Soph is seeing this, and she's going to just go ahead and rush forward. Also, the player admitting defeat, I believe, was Erebor. But yeah, she's going to go ahead and rush forward. She does not want to sit here and get shot to death by those blackguards. She's going to want to engage with Umbar's front line, which is a good idea, because the Corsair pikemen are only good if they're supported and in a good position. So if she rushes forward at them right now and maybe is able to break them, she'll be able to get into the back lines here and stop these skirmishers, which currently, at least in this army, are definitely Umbar's strength. Meanwhile, though, we've got some Castamir's Legion, breaking through some Arthedain pikes and even then spears. Also, in the center, it looks like most of Mordor's forces have been defeated. So this is where things are really going to start getting messy. Honestly, Khazad Dum is probably going to have to push over a lot of reinforcing units over this way. In the center, it's still looking somewhat even, I guess. There goes another admit defeat. I don't know who that is, though. I'm assuming Mordor. Yeah, looks like that was Mordor admitting defeat. So now it's back to being a 2v2. Here in the center, Banderbreast archers getting assaulted by some elves. There's the Dunedain troll slayers, unfortunately not throwing their javelins at anything quite yet. There are still 23 Knights of Innuminos, and I don't actually know where the Horse Lords are. There's only 3, so yeah, they definitely either got shot by the Wardens of the North or by the Dunedain scouts, who are on the flank, so with their arrows firing into the very lightly armored elves should do quite a lot of damage. However, some really bad friendly fire there from that Dwarven catapult, going to rout these even dim spears and the pikemen as well. So just like that, the Team 2 will be able to start wrapping around this flank, and that is not good, because you can actually see already 4 Lindon Marines, 4 Lindon Archers, and Mithlon Marines all around the flank here, and are actually doing a good job on these Arthedain forces that are actually still holding a line. They're actually fighting with the Gnarled and Gnarled Royal Guard as well as some pikes, so they may be able to kill the Umbar General here and get a lot of routing from the remaining lower tier units he has.
We've lost half of our men.
It's looking close. Over here, Corsair Pikes, yeah, this is what I mean. Corsair Pikes at 166 are actually thinking about routing, although so is the 3rd Legion. There's still a lot of dwarves left over, so this could still definitely go back in favor of Team 1. She's so scrambling her forces to move around so they won't actually get outflanked, but it's going to be a close one. Back there, Knights of Innuminos and Dunedain scouts trying to do their best. All the Horse Archers firing wherever they can. Dunedain Troll Slayers, looks like they're in melee now, maybe? They're trying to throw, but they're not quite being able to do so. Yeah, look at those Mithlon pikemen just taking volley after volley from the Horse Archers. Lindon Infantry, Wardens of the North going to retreat. And unfortunately for Soph right here, you can see the Castamir's Legion actually surrounding her very strong pike block here. So that's not good at all. She needs to do something about that as quickly as possible. Corsair pikemen actually kind of breaking through here. But here comes some more Arthedain pikes, Arthedain spears. And here comes all of the dwarves as well. The dwarves still have their 2 units of 1st Legion pikes, and these guys will make a huge difference. Also, the 2nd Legion Axe Guard going after the Castamir's Legion, going to be very, very effective at taking these guys out. Dunedain Rangers trying to pull back and get into a better firing position. And this battle I've actually really enjoyed. It's really super chaotic. Dunedain Troll Slayers in melee, struggling with the numbers as well as a lot of javelins coming in. But they're still going to do alright, I guess, in melee because they're very skillful. But in the back lines, the Knights of Innuminos actually routing those crossbow Corsairs and then maybe going to go after these spears. I hope not, because they are spearmen. Hopefully she will instead use them to go after maybe the javelins. But we'll have to see what she does. And yes, she is going to charge into the Lindon Guard, who are going to countercharge. And being spears, and not pikes, they will take losses. But if Soph leaves her knights in melee for too long, the knights will take a lot of arrows. Or will take a lot of losses, not arrows. Lindon Guard actually focusing down on the Knights of Innuminos now. She probably should start going after some archers and some javelins before it's too late. Because the dwarves are very slow, so if it comes down to just the dwarves remaining, it'll be really difficult. Meanwhile, this pike block's still holding on okay, despite being kind of outflanked here. And wow, this battle is just so chaotic. There's units coming in everywhere. Here come the Umbar archers, who are now out of ammo. But most of these archers are pretty low tier. There's the Corsairs, though, the crossbow Corsairs, rather, on the flank. So this may actually be very, very bad. The crossbow Corsairs on this flank here will be able to cause a huge amount of damage to the dwarves and everything else. Thankfully, though, for Team 1, the Umbar archers are not super great in melee, but still, it's going to be nasty. It's going to be a real nasty fight. 1st Legion pikes took a lot of losses, I assume, to javelins and other such things. Wardens of the North in melee now, cutting down the last of these Castamir's Legion. Here comes some more Lindon forces. Looks like a lot of the javelins are out of ammo now. There's another volley. Castamir's Rangers down to only 17. And the Dunedain Troll Slayers is still kind of out here by themselves. There are 17 Knights of Numenor left. There goes the Harlandon Infantry routing. So it actually will free up these Dunedain Troll Slayers. So if they have any ammo left over, they're in the perfect position to start javelining the back of Engsfitz's forces. And there's still one Warlord of Umbar. There's still archers back there firing into this big blob. Ooh, but this is going to be close. The Arthedain pikemen are now thinking about routing. And if there's a route here, that's going to free up a lot of the Team 2 forces to just run around. Yeah, there's the Crossbow Corsairs. Honestly, they need to do something about them. And yes, Soph is actually going to rush her Grey Company and the rest of her Horse Archers after these Crossbow Corsairs, who are currently going to be kind of protected by the Horse Lords. No, the Horse Lords are going after the Catapult Crew. But this might actually be the end of those Crossbow Corsairs, and if that is the case, then it's going to be a lot closer overall. Yeah, Soph needs to start getting her cavalry around here and start cycle charging into the back of this infantry, because if she does not, things are going to turn very sour very quickly. Back there, the Corsair Pikes getting beaten back by the Dwarven Infantry, so once the pikemen over here are dead, it will free up, it looks like, 2 units of spears as well as a unit of axe throwers to turn back into the main fight. Yes, she's actually using her scouts to go after some archers, and oh, I don't know if that's the best idea. You would maybe want to go into the infantry, honestly, because the infantry is still somewhat scary. And there goes the Lindon General. So, ooh, it's getting real close, honestly. It's getting real scary. Dunedain Rangers in melee. Ooh, a lot of javelins. A lot of men going down to javelins over here. So actually, I take it back. Maybe it would be better to go after the archers with her knights and the rest of her cav. And definitely the marines and javelins as well. Because over here is where, pretty much the only area where the attackers, well not attackers, but Team 1 are strong. Except for over here, actually. The Abers and Nardu Bawib are still cutting down those pikemen and spears. But ooh, it's close. It's really close. I wonder if the Rangers used all their ammo, because they are in melee. There's some fallen on pikemen to routing. Troll Slayers are on the flank. And that was a nice charge back here from the Knights of Numenor into the Mithlond Marines. And unlike the Forlandon Marines and the Harlandon Guard, the Mithlond Marines are not spearmen. So cav charges are going to be extremely effective against the Mithlond Marines. However, she needs to be careful not to get too far away, or I guess it's going to be weird because these are javelins. So if she gets out of melee with them, then they will be able to throw their javelins at the knights. So it's going to be kind of just an interesting situation here. But it looks like she's just going to go straight back in. So the javelins must be out of ammo. Meanwhile, the scouts have taken a lot of losses, but they have at least managed to silence these archers for the time. But they are going to try to surround the Knights of Numenor now. Looks like the knights might somehow be able to escape. Oh no. If Soph loses her general, she did lose a couple knights, but if she loses her general, that is not going to be very good. Because all of her low-tier units, like the pikes and the spears, will rout pretty much instantly. However, I think, now that the reinforcing dwarves are over here, I think this one might be getting close. And see the Team 2, as we'll just call Engsfitz's team, is starting to struggle in the infantry fight. Over here, they're still doing okay, but over here, the archers are getting surrounded. Here comes some more spears to silence those crossbows. They do have a lot of foot archers left over, but it's going to be real close. And here comes a nice charge from the Knights of Numenor as well as the scouts into these lower tier archers. However, they need to get out of there because Soph can really not afford to lose her general at this moment. Mithlond Marines still running around. Those Crossbow Corsairs, honestly, if they're able to return to the fight and start shooting again, that could really be a deciding factor. There goes some Forlandon Marines to routing. There are still 41 of the Castamir's Legion and 28 of the Naru and Royal Guard, as well as 60 or so Abers and Nardu Bawib. But they're actually getting surrounded right now. Ooh, 2nd Legion Axe Guard, more than a match for the Castamir's Legion. There's still a lot of these 1st Legion pikes. There's still 4 to 3 Wardens. And I think there's still some Troll Slayers around here as well. Yeah, so I think this one, it'll be close, but I think that Soph's team will end up winning this. You can see the Corsair Archers running into the fight now. Got some Abers and Nardu Bawibs, Corsair Archers, and some Beligir Archers all running into these Troll Slayers, maybe? There's still some Harlandon Guard around. There are still 9 Knights of Illuminos running around, causing a lot of routing in the rear lines. Dunedain Scouts and Grey Company chasing after the Crossbow Corsairs, once again going to be able to rout them. Troll Slayers here, because they're not actually getting surrounded, they will actually be able to stay in this fight against the archers for quite some time. And their AP will serve them very well against the Belagir archers and the Abrazenim Nardubawi. And here comes some Grey Company and some Knights of Illuminos going to be able to surround these Harlan Guard and get a nice pincer charge off there. But yeah, I think this will pretty much be over by now. Or I think it's pretty much over. You can see the Nar Royal Guard getting surrounded. There goes the archers to routing. There's still a few of the legionnaires left. There's a few pikemen. I think this will pretty much be over. Still, it was very close. I think Erebor probably shouldn't have rushed by himself like that. However, Mordor also I think made a few mistakes, particularly rushing forward with his Nazgul like right away like that. It was kind of a pretty bad mistake. He also lost a lot of his trolls and everything right away. But still, it was definitely a very, very entertaining battle. There goes the Umbar General. And a charge from the Knights of the Illuminos into the flank of these archers might rout them. Maybe not actually, but it'll be over for these archers pretty soon. But still, it was not a bad battle. It was super, super chaotic. And I actually really liked how chaotic it was. It was really fun. So again, big thank you to Soph for sending me this replay. She's still got 7 of her Knights of Illuminos left, and 14 of the Grey Company. 20 of those Troll Slayers, but here comes some more supporting units. Although the Mithlon Marine's going to be able to stop the Wardens of the North, at least for a little bit. Those Mithril Guard actually were very, very good as well. There's only 19 of them left, so they were in the fight for a really long time. Of course, our archers, well, just the archers in general, are going to try to spread around a little bit. I don't know if I actually ever mentioned that Umbar is being commanded by Peak Keep. I should have. If I didn't, my bad, I totally forgot. But yeah. Archers now getting surrounded a little bit. There go the Abrazenim Nardubawi, so routing. Of course, our archers will probably follow suit. Some Belagir archers. And yes, that is going to be the end of this battle. I hope you guys did enjoy it. I definitely did. It was very, very fun. I really like this one a lot, actually. See over here, it looks like there's just the last of these Castamir's Legion, looks like. Indeed, by a sword's edge. It was very, very close. I'll go ahead and put it back up to normal speed. Actually, I'll just speed it up. There we go. So the most kills did go to Soph. Or no, actually to Peak. No, Engsfitz had the most kills of 2,400. Behind him was Peakeep, and then behind him was Soph. Both Anyhash and Elrain not doing super great, but they were still there at least. Knights of Illuminos getting 464 kills. Grey Company getting 300. Scouts also doing alright. 2 of our pikes doing good, the other 2 not so much. Even Dim Spears were just kind of there. Troll Slayers, 1 unit did very good, the other one, meh. Wardens of the North, though, also got 149 kills, and that's also very good, considering there were still 43 of them left alive. The rest of her units didn't do bad either, including her Dunedain Rangers, who got 314 kills. So that will pretty much be the end of this video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, please comment, like, and subscribe. If you did not, just tell me what I did wrong, and I'll be sure to fix it for the next one. And again, a big thank you to Soph for sending me this replay. So farewell wherever you fare, till your eyes receive you at your journey's end.